Virgo is often painted with a single brush, described as practical, analytical, and sometimes overly critical. But those who look more closely quickly realize that Virgo is not one-dimensional. This sign holds layers, archetypes, and nuances that make it far more complex than it appears at first glance. Beneath the surface of modesty and diligence lies a spectrum of personalities that express Virgo's essence in unique ways. It is within this spectrum that we find the three types of Virgo, each carrying its own gifts, struggles, and light. The mystery of Virgo lies in how they combine contradictions. They are both humble and powerful, gentle and exacting, quiet yet influential. Some Virgos pour their energy into healing and service, becoming the helpers of the zodiac. Others sharpen their focus on precision and mastery, embodying the archetype of the perfectionist. Still others step into the role of the visionary, blending intellect with foresight to guide those around them. These three types reveal how one sign can contain a world of expression, and why Virgos often surprise those who think they already know them. Astrology offers a lens to understand these differences, but lived experience makes them clear. Anyone who has met more than one Virgo knows they are not carbon copies. Some radiate compassion so strongly that people feel safe in their presence. Others radiate discipline so fiercely that they demand excellence simply by existing. And still others radiate wisdom so timeless that they seem to see the world with a clarity beyond their years. Each type shines, but each shines in a different way. And that is what makes the question of who shines the brightest so compelling. This exploration is not about competition, but illumination. To look at the three types of Virgo is to understand the full range of their brilliance. It is to see how healing, precision, and vision are all threads woven into Virgo's tapestry, sometimes appearing separately, sometimes overlapping. The beauty of Virgo is that they are never just one thing. Their light is multifaceted, and that is why envy, admiration, and curiosity follow them wherever they go. With this foundation, we begin the journey into the first type of Virgo, the healer, whose nurturing energy and service-oriented spirit reveal the compassionate heart that lies at the core of this enigmatic sign. The first type of Virgo is the healer, the embodiment of compassion and service. This Virgo type radiates a nurturing energy that makes people feel safe, seen, and supported. They are the ones who step in quietly when someone is struggling, who notice the needs that others overlook, and who offer solutions not for praise, but out of genuine care. The healer Virgo carries a sense of duty that goes beyond obligation. It feels like a calling. They believe their presence should make life lighter for others, and they dedicate themselves to that mission with remarkable consistency. Their strength lies in their ability to heal not only through action, but through presence. The healer listens with patience, comforts with sincerity, and provides guidance that feels like balm for the soul. In relationships, they are the dependable ones, the friends and partners who stand firm through storms, offering calm when everything else is chaotic. Their patience and empathy make them deeply magnetic, though they rarely see themselves that way. People are drawn to them because they feel understood, and in a world full of noise, Virgo's quiet compassion becomes a rare refuge. Yet the healer Virgo also faces challenges. Their natural instinct to give can lead to overextension, pouring energy into others while neglecting themselves. They may stay too long in draining relationships or environments, believing they can fix what is broken, even when it is not their responsibility. This shadow side of their nature reveals the cost of their compassion, self-neglect, fatigue, and sometimes resentment when their efforts are taken for granted. Still, despite the challenges, the healer's light is undeniable. They are the ones who restore faith in humanity, not through grand gestures, but through small, consistent acts of kindness. Their quiet dedication to making the world better is what sets them apart. People may envy their patience and their ability to forgive, wishing they could embody the same grace. But for the healer Virgo, it is simply who they are, a timeless expression of service that flows from the depths of their soul. This archetype shows us Virgo's heart-centered nature, but it is only one side of the spectrum. For where the healer nurtures with compassion, the next type of Virgo seeks mastery through structure and exactness. The perfectionist, whose precision defines their light in an entirely different way. The healer Virgo shines most clearly when placed in real situations, where their compassion and patience transform lives in quiet but unforgettable ways. Imagine a friend group where one person always notices who is hurting, who needs encouragement, and who has been left out. This is the healer Virgo. They are the ones who send a message late at night to check in, who show up with practical help when someone is overwhelmed, and who carry the weight of responsibility even when no one asks. Their gift is subtle, but it is powerful, because it reminds people of what genuine care feels like. In romantic relationships, the healer Virgo becomes the anchor. They are attentive, remembering small details that show love is more than words. They anticipate needs, often before their partner even expresses them, and they offer support that is both emotional and practical. This reliability creates a sense of safety, and it is why people who lose the love of a healer Virgo often find themselves longing for it long after it's gone. Their presence is missed because their care is irreplaceable. In professional life, the healer archetype often chooses roles where they can serve others: teachers, nurses, counselors, or even colleagues who are simply known for lending a hand. They are the ones who balance the workload, who mediate conflicts, who bring order to chaos through patience and empathy. Their strength is not only in solving problems, but in making people feel valued during the process. However, the healer's biggest challenge is knowing when to stop. Their instinct to give can lead them to sacrifice their own well-being. They may absorb the pain of others, carrying emotional weight that is not theirs to bear. In trying to fix what is broken, they sometimes forget that not everything is theirs to repair. This struggle becomes a lifelong lesson for them to balance compassion with boundaries. Despite these challenges, the healer Virgo remains one of the most luminous expressions of the sign. They embody the quiet heroism that makes people envious, not because they are flashy, but because they embody a kind of goodness that feels rare and timeless. And yet, Virgo's brilliance is not limited to compassion. From the softness of the healer, we now turn to the sharp edges of the perfectionist, the type of Virgo whose pursuit of excellence sets them apart in a world that often settles for less. The second type of Virgo is the perfectionist, the one who embodies discipline, precision, and an unwavering eye for detail. This Virgo archetype carries a natural drive to refine, to improve, and to achieve excellence in everything they touch. Where the healer gives from the heart, the perfectionist builds with the mind, constantly searching for ways to bring order to chaos and transform the ordinary into something flawless. They are ruled by the belief that anything worth doing is worth doing well, and it is this dedication that sets them apart and often stirs envy in those around them. The perfectionist Virgo thrives in structure. They see inefficiencies where others see nothing wrong, and they cannot resist the urge to fix them. In work environments, they become the ones who catch errors before they cause problems, who organize systems that keep everything running smoothly, and who push projects beyond mediocrity into mastery. Their standards are high, sometimes impossibly so, but it is this very intensity that gives them their edge. Others may complain about their critiques, but deep down, they know Virgo's eye for detail is a gift. This type of Virgo also applies the same standards to themselves. They are relentless in self-improvement, constantly striving to be better, sharper, and stronger. Their internal dialogue can be harsh, pushing them toward constant growth, but sometimes leaving them vulnerable to self-criticism. The world admires their results, but often fails to see the pressure they place on themselves to achieve them. Envy arises not only from their accomplishments, but from the discipline that most people struggle to sustain. In relationships, the perfectionist Virgo may seem demanding, but their intention is rarely harshness. They want the best for those they love and believe that growth requires honesty. Their critiques, though sharp, come from a desire to elevate, not to diminish. And while this can sometimes be misunderstood, those who embrace it find themselves growing stronger under Virgo's influence. The perfectionist embodies Virgo's pursuit of excellence, showing how discipline and detail can create brilliance that others cannot easily replicate. Their light is sharp, precise, and unyielding, the kind that leaves a lasting impression on everyone who encounters it. Yet this is only one expression of Virgo's brilliance. Beyond the healer's compassion and the perfectionist's mastery lies a third archetype, the visionary, whose wisdom and foresight elevate Virgo into the realm of timeless guidance. The perfectionist Virgo reveals their brilliance most clearly in the way they move through everyday life, where their pursuit of excellence leaves unmistakable marks on everything they touch. Picture a workplace where deadlines are chaotic, mistakes pile up, and no one seems to notice the cracks forming until Virgo steps in. With calm precision, they reorganize, correct, and refine until the chaos transforms into order. Colleagues may grumble about Virgo's high standards, but when the project succeeds, it is their exacting eye that ensured success. This is the perfectionist in action: quiet, diligent, and undeniably effective. In personal life, this type of Virgo often becomes the one others depend on for structure and stability. They remember important dates, anticipate practical needs, and maintain routines that create a sense of order in their homes and relationships. While others may view these habits as demanding, they are born from a desire to build security. A perfectionist Virgo partner ensures that promises are kept, that the details are not forgotten, and that life runs as smoothly as possible. Envy arises because few can match this level of consistency, and yet everyone benefits from it when they are close. The shadow of this archetype, however, is their tendency toward rigidity. In their pursuit of flawlessness, they may push themselves and others too hard, expecting perfection where only effort is possible. This can lead to frustration or a reputation for being overly critical. Yet even this shadow reveals something admirable because it comes from a place of deep care and dedication. The perfectionist is not trying to destroy, but to elevate, to take what exists and make it better. Their brilliance becomes most visible when their efforts accumulate over time. The systems they build, the habits they refine, and the standards they uphold create legacies that endure long after the moment has passed. Others may envy their discipline, wishing they too could maintain such focus. But Virgo knows it is not about talent alone. It is about persistence. This archetype shows us the power of Virgo's mind, a force that can turn even the smallest details into stepping stones toward greatness. And yet, Virgo's light is not limited to compassion or perfection. Beyond the healer and the perfectionist lies the visionary, the type of Virgo whose wisdom and foresight illuminate paths that others cannot yet see. The third type of Virgo is the visionary, a figure who blends intellect with foresight and grounds it all in practicality. Unlike the healer, who leads with compassion, or the perfectionist, who leads with discipline, the visionary Virgo leads with wisdom. They have an ability to see beyond the present moment, connecting patterns, ideas, and possibilities in ways that others often overlook. This foresight is not loud or dramatic. It is subtle, steady, and deeply influential. It allows them to guide others toward choices that stand the test of time, making them both admired and, at times, envied. The visionary Virgo has a gift for analysis that goes beyond details. They do not simply notice flaws or inconsistencies. They see how those small details fit into a larger picture. Their mind works like a map, drawing connections between what is happening now and what could unfold later. This makes them natural strategists, the ones who can anticipate problems before they appear and prepare solutions long before others recognize the need. People often describe them as having almost prophetic clarity, though their wisdom is grounded in logic and careful observation. In relationships, the visionary Virgo becomes a guide and a source of perspective. They are not content with superficial interactions. Instead, they invite others to grow, to think more deeply, and to see beyond immediate emotions. Their conversations often leave people feeling enlightened, as though they glimpsed a truth they hadn't considered before. This depth inspires admiration but also envy, because not everyone can see the world with such clarity. In professional life, the visionary archetype often shines as leaders, innovators, or mentors. They can design systems, create strategies, and inspire movements because they combine Virgo's practicality with forward-thinking ideas. Unlike dreamers who lose touch with reality, visionary Virgos anchor their insights in actionable steps, making their visions achievable. The shadow of this archetype is detachment. In their pursuit of clarity, visionary Virgos may seem distant or overly analytical, leaving others feeling as though they cannot reach their emotional core. Yet even this shadow carries power, because their distance allows them to see what others, clouded by emotion, cannot. This type embodies Virgo's wisdom and foresight, showing us how their light extends beyond service and discipline into timeless guidance. And just as the healer nurtures and the perfectionist refines, the visionary inspires, preparing us to see how these three archetypes interact and compare with one another. The visionary Virgo reveals their brilliance most clearly when placed in situations that demand foresight and wisdom. Imagine a team facing a difficult decision, unsure of which path to take. While others argue in circles, the visionary Virgo quietly observes, connecting threads no one else notices. Then, with calm precision, they offer a perspective that cuts through the noise and reveals a clear direction forward. People often marvel at how Virgo seems to just know. But what looks like intuition is a blend of observation, logic, and grounded insight that feels almost prophetic. In relationships, this archetype shines as the guide and teacher. They encourage growth, pushing loved ones to think beyond the moment and to see the long-term impact of their choices. A conversation with a visionary Virgo rarely stays at the surface. They naturally lead others into deeper reflection. For some, this is inspiring, opening doors to new levels of understanding. For others, it can be intimidating because their depth exposes truths that are easier to ignore. Envy often arises here, as people recognize Virgo's ability to perceive what they themselves cannot. In creative and professional pursuits, the visionary archetype often steps into leadership roles. They have the rare ability to dream of what could be while also knowing how to bring it into reality. They can design strategies that last, innovate solutions that stand strong, and influence people with a steady clarity that feels unshakable. Their visions are not castles in the air. They are grounded blueprints that others can follow. This balance of imagination and practicality is what makes them so enviable. The shadow of the visionary Virgo becomes visible when their focus on clarity distances them emotionally from others. Their ability to detach can make them seem aloof or unreachable, and sometimes their analytical nature creates walls instead of bridges. Yet, even in this shadow, their light persists, because their distance allows them to offer perspectives that others, caught in emotion, cannot see. This archetype shows the culmination of Virgo's gifts: wisdom, foresight, and clarity expressed in ways that elevate everyone around them. With the healer, the perfectionist, and the visionary all revealed, the picture of Virgo becomes fuller. Now, the natural question arises: how do these three types compare, and what unique brilliance does each bring to the table? When the three types of Virgo are placed side by side, their differences become clear. Yet so does the thread that unites them. The healer, the perfectionist, and the visionary are not separate identities, but facets of the same essence, each one expressing Virgo's energy in a unique way. To compare them is to see how Virgo's light can shine through heart, mind, and spirit, revealing strengths that are both distinct and complementary. The healer shines through compassion. Their gift is their ability to nurture, to serve, and to restore balance in the lives of others. They bring peace and comfort, often sacrificing their own needs to ensure others feel supported. This makes them deeply admired, but also vulnerable, as their generosity can be exploited. Still, the healer's light is timeless, reminding us of the beauty of selflessness. The perfectionist shines through mastery. Their brilliance is in their precision, their discipline, and their relentless pursuit of excellence. They create structures that endure and results that inspire envy. People may criticize their high standards, but they cannot deny the success those standards produce. The perfectionist embodies Virgo's sharpness, transforming detail into greatness. The visionary shines through wisdom. Their clarity of thought and foresight allow them to guide others with almost prophetic insight. They see connections where others see fragments, and they chart paths that feel both daring and practical. Their challenge is remaining connected emotionally, but their light lies in their ability to elevate others by expanding their perspective. Together, these three archetypes show how Virgo's energy manifests on different levels. The healer works through the heart, offering compassion. The perfectionist works through the mind, refining and perfecting. The visionary works through the soul, guiding and illuminating. None is better or worse. Each shines in a context where their strength is most needed. This comparison reveals why Virgo is such a complex and fascinating sign. They are not bound by one stereotype, but contain a full spectrum of light. Depending on the situation, one type may step forward while the others retreat, yet all three live within the Virgo spirit. And so the question naturally arises: among these types, who shines the brightest, and what does brightness truly mean for Virgo's multifaceted soul? The question of who shines the brightest among the three types of Virgo is not one with a simple answer, because brightness itself takes different forms depending on what we value. For some, brightness is compassion, the ability to heal and uplift others in times of need. For others, it is excellence, the discipline to refine, achieve, and leave behind something lasting. And for others still, brightness is wisdom, the foresight to guide and inspire with clarity that feels timeless. Each Virgo type embodies a different definition of light, and so each shines brightest in its own realm. The healer shines brightest in the realm of love and human connection. Their gift of empathy, patience, and service makes them a source of comfort in a world often marked by chaos and indifference. When people speak of Virgo as dependable and nurturing, it is the healer archetype they describe, for their brightness lies in the ability to remind others of their worth. The perfectionist shines brightest in the realm of mastery and achievement. Their eye for detail and relentless drive for improvement allow them to accomplish what others envy, but cannot replicate. They embody Virgo's reputation for discipline and excellence, proving that greatness is built not in grand gestures, but in careful, consistent effort. Their brightness is not fleeting but enduring, leaving behind results that inspire long after they are gone. The visionary shines brightest in the realm of wisdom and influence. Their ability to see patterns and predict outcomes grants them a power that feels rare and almost otherworldly. They offer guidance that changes perspectives, often steering others toward paths they could not have found on their own. Their brightness is subtle but profound, illuminating not with noise but with clarity. Ultimately, who shines the brightest depends on what one values most: heart, mind, or spirit. But perhaps the real answer is that Virgo shines most when these three archetypes unite. When compassion meets precision and wisdom, Virgo becomes a force of balance unlike any other, a sign capable of embodying all forms of light at once. And it is in this union that the truest brilliance of Virgo emerges, leading us into the final reflection on their timeless and multifaceted radiance. The three types of Virgo together form a complete portrait of brilliance, and it is in their unity that the true light of this sign is revealed. The healer offers compassion that restores and uplifts. The perfectionist delivers mastery that endures, and the visionary provides wisdom that guides across time. Each archetype has its own radiance, but none exists in isolation. Virgo is not merely one type or the other. They are a blend, a living mosaic of qualities that appear in different seasons of life. This is what makes them so remarkable and so envied. Their brightness adapts, endures, and shines where it is needed most. The secret of Virgo's brilliance is not in competing to see who shines the most, but in understanding that their strength lies in balance. The healer reminds the world that kindness is powerful. The perfectionist proves that discipline creates lasting beauty. The visionary shows that clarity and foresight can illuminate entire paths. Together, these threads weave into a tapestry of timeless influence, one that sets Virgo apart as one of the zodiac's most dynamic and layered signs. When Virgo leans fully into their archetypes, they inspire in ways others cannot. Their compassion softens hearts, their precision raises standards, and their wisdom sparks transformation. People may envy them, sometimes even misunderstand them. But envy itself is proof of their impact. It reveals how much others long to embody the same patience, excellence, and insight that Virgo naturally expresses. This timeless brilliance is what makes Virgo unforgettable. Their light does not burn quickly and fade. It endures, steady and consistent, like a guiding flame in the dark. Whether as the healer, the perfectionist, or the visionary, Virgo's presence always leaves a mark. And when all three come together, their glow is unmatched, a radiance that does not need applause to prove itself. So, who shines the brightest? The answer is Virgo itself, in all its forms, in all its layers, in all its timeless strength. Their brilliance is not about being louder, faster, or flashier. It is about being enduring, authentic, and true. And in that authenticity, Virgo becomes more than just a sign. They become a living example of how quiet power, steady discipline, and timeless wisdom can outshine anything else.